Hello, we meet again in a News broadcast daily and following today's headlines.
The government's regular meeting discusses measures to ensure a happy Lunar New Year for people. The Industrial Production Index in January drops by 3.2% in several industries. Ho Chi Minh City youths join hands to make chung cakes for homeless people and poor children.
The government convened its January regular meeting in Hanoi on January 29th under the chair of Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng. The meeting discussed measures to stabilize market prices, boost production and ensure a happy Lunar New Year for all the people.
Dũng asked ministries and departments to promptly implement the government's resolutions in the first quarter of 2013, focusing on those that will reduce the difficulties facing businesses. He also requested them to continue efforts to stabilize the macroeconomy and contain inflation. The Prime Minister said the State Bank must control interest rates and increase lending to agricultural and rural areas and small and medium-sized enterprises. He asked the cabinet members to focus discussions on measures to ensure a happy Lunar New Year for all the people. Ministries and departments should guarantee the supply of key commodities, closely monitor prices and ensure transport runs during the Lunar New Year. If necessary, aviation and railway firms should reduce prices. Local authorities were also asked to take notice of the poor, welfare beneficiaries, soldiers and police, especially those who will be on duty during the New Year festival. Urgent issues on environmental protection, personnel training on atomic energy and law enforcement were also tabled for discussion.
The president of Japan's Nippon Foundation, Yohei Sasakawa, has affirmed his organization will continue to assist disabled and disadvantaged people in Vietnam.
At a reception hosted by Vice President Nguyễn Thị Doan in Hanoi on January 28th, Sasakawa thanked Vietnam's relevant ministries, branches and agencies for their cooperation in implementing its projects in the country. Doan noted that the foundation has provided almost $28 million to assist disadvantaged people in Vietnam since 1992. She said she hopes it will continue helping Vietnamese people with disabilities through rehabilitation, vocational training, job placements and loans, and cooperate with the country to perfect its legal framework and social welfare policy. The Nippon Foundation is active in more than 100 countries. In Vietnam, it has built over 100 primary schools in the Central Highlands and provided wheelchairs and more than 50,000 artificial limbs. On the occasion, the Vice President presented the Friendship Medal to Sasakawa in recognition of his contributions to the country.
The General Statistics Office has announced the Industrial Production Index in January dropped by 3.2% from December 2012 in several industries, despite the upcoming Lunar New Year.
Among the industries, mining fell 4.7% and the manufacturing and processing industry by 3%. The electricity industry and water supply and waste disposal sector witnessed less significant declines, with 1% and 0.4% respectively. In January, the inventory index climbed 21.5% compared to the same period last year. The number of workers at industrial enterprises increased by 5.2% compared to this time last year, despite numerous difficulties confronting industrial production. To ease the difficulties, the Ministry of Industry and Trade is taking measures to support agriculture, forestry, and fishery production, along with processing industry. It is also pushing up the restructuring of state-owned enterprises so as to improve their competitiveness and efficiency.
A conference took place in Kantar City on January 20th to discuss climate change adaptation measures to promote the sustainable development of agriculture in the Mekong Delta. The event was co-organized by the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development and the Japan International Cooperation Agency, (JICA).
The Southern Institute for Water Resources Planning, with the support of JICA, has forecast and evaluated the impacts of climate change in the 2020 to 2050 period. It has also built a master plan and suggested measures to have 7 provinces in the region adapt to climate change. There are 9 priority projects in the plan, including those on constructing and maintaining dikes, adjusting cultivation schedules, and building up capacity to manage water flow in the region. The projects will encompass an area of 20,000 square kilometers in the region. The Institute said the delta is vulnerable to climate change. Rising temperatures and rainfall will affect agriculture, in particular fruit trees, rice and stream farming.
Population of Vietnam has reached over 88.7 million people. The figure was reported by the General Office for Population and Family Planning.
The agency estimates that 920,000 babies were born in 2012. The country is facing an imbalanced sex ratio at birth, with 112.3 boys for every 100 girls. The agency is also planning to suggest the government that families that only had girls will receive financial support. For experts, they advise to focus more on sexual and reproductive health, saying better research in the field will help the country address significant challenges in this area.
The 20 and 13 Spring Fair officially kicked off in Hanoi on January 20th. Deputy Prime Minister Nguyen Xuân Phúc cut the ribbon at the opening ceremony.
The event is co-organized by the Vietnam Exhibition Fair Center and the Municipal Department of Industry and Trade under the auspices of the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism and the Municipal People's Committee. On display are cultural and tourist products, foodstuff, beverages, garments, footwear, electronics, interior decoration, ceramics, porcelain, handicrafts and gifts. Compared to previous fairs, I see that this year's event showcases better quality products. This is the first time we have taken part in the fair. We want to introduce products from Phu Quoc Island to consumers in the north as the new year is drawing near. Popular products from all corners of the country are available at the fair. As a major annual trade promotion event, it drew the participation of thousands of visitors and businesses. The fair will run until February the 7th.
Young people in Ho Chi Minh City joined hands to make chung cakes, square glutinous rice cakes for homeless people and poor children in the city. They do hope that the cakes will make these disadvantaged to feel warm when the Lunar New Year is coming near.
Many students and volunteers arrived early in the morning to make chung cakes. For most, it was the first time they have made the traditional cake, which signifies the arrival of Lunar New Year festival. The cakes might not have been as good as these young people were hoping for, but they were filled with affection. I don't know if my cakes are good or not, but I want poor people to know how hard I try to give them a little pleasure. The enthusiasm that young people put into making chung cakes demonstrates that Vietnamese people still share mutual affection in the modern society. I'm retired, but when I was young, I took part in youth movement activities. I feel very happy seeing young people make chung cakes for the poor of today, and I want to join. The program was initiated by a group of young volunteers called Green Dreams, with funding from many different sources. Our group intends to give our cakes to homeless people wherever we see them. Making chung cakes not only shows the affection of the city's youth for less fortunate people, but also illustrates the traditional value of the nation.
And that is the end of our news today. Thanks for watching and goodbye for now.